All right. What's going on, people? Welcome to Bible study recap. I'm your host, ACOGchopp, Big Chop. We're gonna get this party started in a few seconds. So let me make sure everything is working properly. Okay. Audio sounds good. Audio sounds good. All right. So, uh, give me 1 second. My fault. Give me 1 second. We got a special guest with us today. I got Cinnamon with me. She she was getting kicked out the room, so I told her come on and join me. She could join me on the live today. Uh, so we're going over so yesterday we had our Bible study. We had took a break. Now we back to our regularly scheduled programming. We had did Bible study yesterday, and I felt the need to do this, not do this over, but shed a little bit more insight on what we was reading about the sower and the seed parable that Jesus spoke. And I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this because I gave some information, and it wasn't like it wasn't like the information was wrong. I didn't break down enough. I didn't give y'all enough insight on what was going on. And this is why Bible study class is important, because if we wouldn't have did Bible study, I wouldn't have opened my eyes to see what I said, and what needed to be said. And with the Bible study, it gave me a lot more insight on exactly what was going on in the parable, and where where I could have did better at breaking down what was being said and stuff like that. And it's good that we do the Bible study because it helps me get better, as well as um gives me a better understanding on certain things that I'm reading, because we get to work together as a unit to get the answers and stuff. And like I said, what I said wasn't all the way off. It was it's just I could have broke it down more for the consumer to understand better. Um I didn't break down the characteristics, the characters, and I didn't break down the identity of the people, particular in this. I didn't break down certain things that could have went further in into explanation. But what what happened what happened was I knew when I was reading it, I understood what was being said, but like I said, I didn't give the proper definitions and stuff. So just like the last time, we're gonna go over it. We're gonna read it. We're gonna identify the parable, and then this time we're gonna identify the uh the characters the characters in the parable, and we're gonna break down the characteristics and stuff. So 1 second while I get my parable up here. 1 second while I get my parable up here. Just bear with me real quick. I see my dog, my baby. Sit down. Sit down. Sit. She wanna lean on me, trying to find a comfortable position to sit at. All right. All right. Cool. 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 Got that up there. All right. So let's identify. Let's identify what the parable is. What my fault. That's that Baltimore talk. Let's identify what parables are. That Baltimore kicked in real quick. All right. So let's take that. No, keep that up there. My fault. Wrong one. There we go. And then let's take this down for 1 second. Boom. Okay. So parables. Let's see if y'all can see that. I want to make sure that y'all can see that. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So parables. Parables are a concise story that conveys a moral, spiritual, or theological truth by means of everyday illustration and relatable experiences. The term comes from the Greek word parable, which implies placing two things side by side for comparison or analogy. Parables often employ agricultural imagery, social custom, and vivid characters to engage listeners and impart important lessons. Okay, so this is the definition of parable. Okay, so the parable is is a story that we lay side by side with real world experiences so that they can so that the two we can compare the two, and it's to teach a more or spiritual uh or theological truth. So as we go through this parable, we're gonna read it, and then we're gonna jump to the explanation of the parable. And this is the reason why I had to do, not really had to do it over, but I wanted to give y'all part two so that y'all can get a better understanding of what is being said. Because when I was given the explanation for the parable, I gave the explanation, and I referenced some of the stuff that I used to do in there, but I didn't break down the parable enough for the people so that they can understand exactly what the parable was saying. Okay, so that's my bad. That's my bad. But thanks to Bible study on Tuesday, I'm able to do that. So let's take that down. Let's bring our Bible back up. All right, so we're gonna go to Matthew, the book of Matthew. Just give me 1 second. We're gonna go to the book of Matthew. We're gonna go to chapter 13. The book of Matthew, chapter 13, and we're gonna read from 3 to 9. Okay, 3 to 9. That's the parable right there. Boom, boom. And once we read this, we're gonna jump into the explanations and stuff, and we're gonna start breaking it down. And like I said, that's my bad. I didn't give y'all enough breakdown, but this is why we're doing it again. Okay. Now, now it says, then he spoke many things to them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went out to sow. And as he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the birds came and devoured them. Okay, so in the first two, 3, and 4 that we just read, we have identified particular things that's going on, particular people that's in here. So it says, behold, a sower went out to sow. So sower, we wrote that down, and then we we um we went to identify who's the sower, all right, in the parable. So when he says sower, some people said farmer, and some people said Jesus. Okay, the answers technically are all right, but in this parable is used as the sower being Jesus. Okay, um, if it was an analogy, which is different from a parable, it's not the same. If it was an analogy, then the analogy would be the farmer. But being as though we're talking about a parable, the sower is Jesus. Okay, so now we identified our first character, and now we identified who the sower is. Okay, when we think about the sower, we we the people can be sowers. So what I'm doing right now and delivering the word and speaking the word to y'all and doing what I'm doing, we well, I am sowing a seed. What is the seed? So the seed is the word of Jesus, the word of God, the gospel. Okay? So the seed being the word, the sower being Jesus. In this sense, cause we're you getting down, woman? Because we're reading the book, and we're trying to figure out why Jesus was speaking to parable to the people. The seed being the word, the sower being Jesus. Okay, so we're starting to identify the characters and what's going on in the parable. Okay, so Jesus came to speak the word to the people. The sower came to sow his seeds. All right, boom. So we got that one covered. Okay, and as he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the birds came and devoured them. Okay, so now we have a place. We have a place that's being said in here, and and one of the places is wayside. So when I was saying this, I said it was three characteristics of people. It was three type of people that Jesus was referring to. Okay, so that's my fault, because when I read this, I breezed past it. Relax, relax. I breezed past it that I didn't realize it's four people. It's not three, it's four people. Okay? So so this is one of the type of people right here. So now we put wayside down. Okay? Because when you read it, it says, as he sowed some seeds, as he sowed some seeds fell by the wayside. Okay, and then this is another character. This is another character in the parable. And the birds came and devoured them. So we wrote down birds. Okay, we're gonna get to that part. So we got wayside and we got birds, and then we got the sower and then we got the seed. Okay, some fell on stony places where they did not have much earth, and they immediately sprang up because they had no depth of earth. Okay, so now we're seeing another place. We're seeing another place. The second place would be a stony place. So we have the first place is by the wayside. The second place is stony. Okay, but when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. Okay, so now so now we identify that we have seeds that were sowed by the wayside. We have seeds that was sowed on stony places. So now we got to get to our third. We got to get to our third place. But uh verse 7. Let me go down so that y'all can see that. If you getting down, go ahead, y'all. There you go. All right. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprang up and choked them. Okay. So we have our third place. Our third place where the seeds were sowed at was among thorns. Okay? But others fell on good ground and yielded a crop, some 100-fold, some 6, some 30. Okay? So now we got our fourth place, which is good ground. All right? So now that we got our four places, we understand that the sower is Jesus. We understand that the seed is the word or the gospel. Okay? Now it's time to identify um what these places are, what these places are, what the birds are, what's the meaning for the birds, because we already found out the meaning. We already found the meaning of the seed and the sower. Okay? So, to identify this, to identify this parable that we're reading, we have to switch books. Okay? So, if we go down, now if we go down, he gives us um the purpose of the parable, and what it the parable started to mean. But we're going to go we're going to go a little bit we're going to go to a different chapter that gives us 100% explanation. So in order to do that, we have to transfer over to Luke. Okay? We had to transfer over to Luke. So we went to Luke 8, and we was in Luke chapter 8, verse 11. Okay? So this is what I got up here highlighted. All right? So, all right. So, in Luke chapter 8, if we go up to verse 4, it gives us again the parable. Okay? It gives us again the parable. And it says, a sower went out to sow his seed, and as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and it was trampled down, and the birds of the air devoured it. Okay? The birds of the air devoured it. Some fell on rocks, and as soon as it sprang up, it withered away because of lack of moisture. So it's giving us the same parable, but a little bit it's a little bit different. And some fell among thorns. It sprang up with it, and choked it. But others fell on good ground, sprang up, yielded a crop 100-fold. Okay? So, boom. Let's identify. So this is the explanation of the parable. Okay? So the first two we already identified. This pen be tricky, bruh. Might have to get a different one. All right. this parable we identified that the sower is Jesus. Okay, we identified the seed. The seed is the word of God, the gospel. Okay, so now let's identify the birds. The birds. So when it says that some fell by the wayside and it was trampled down and the birds devoured it, the bird in this particular parable is the devil. Okay, is the negative spirits, the devil, the evil spirits, whatever you want to call it. And it shows you that when we look at verse 12. Okay, so now we go to 11. Now the parable is this: the seed the seed is the word of gospel. Okay, so 12, those by the wayside. Now we ready to get to our first place, which is wayside. What's wayside? The wayside are that hear, then cometh the devil. Okay, so the wayside are people that hear the word, but does not take the word. Does not take the word in. It just sits there. Remember I spoke about people being hard of hearing. It goes in one ear and out the other. Um, that that they don't consume the word. They hear the word, but they don't consume the word. This is the wayside people. Okay, so they hear the word, but instead of hearing the word for what it is, they just heard you say it, but they not listening to what you're saying. They don't care about the word. So many times you can tell them to pray. Many times you tell them read the book. Many times you tell them your favorite verse and how it fits what's going on, and they don't care to hear. Those are the people that fall by the wayside. Okay, and then it says, then cometh the devil and taketh away the word out their hearts. Okay? So boom. So boom. Notice that it says take it out of their hearts. The devil comes and takes the word out their hearts. Okay? So when it says the devil come, that's what we referring to. That's what it's referring to as the fell by the wayside. If you look at 5, fell by the wayside, and it was trodden down, which it was trampled down, and the fowls of the air devoured it. So the fowls being the birds. Okay, so now we identifying what the birds are. The birds are the devil. The birds are the evil spirits. Okay, boom. So now we know what our first place, which being wayside, and then now we understand what the fowls or the birds are. The birds are the devil. The birds are the evil spirits. The wayside are the people that hear the word but don't consume the word. That it bounces off of them. It goes in one ear and out the other. They don't care to hear. And notice, like I said, notice what it says. Take it away the word out of the heart. Okay? So so the devil comes and takes the word out of their heart. He basically comes and snatches the word from them before the ground or whatever gets a chance to take in your heart, before the ground being your heart. Okay, so as we breaking this down, these places are not only characteristics of the people. Like I said before, it's not just characteristics of the people, it's the heart of the people as well. Okay? It's the characteristics of the heart of the people. Okay? Some people hearts are not there with God, so they fall by the wayside. Okay? So now we understand that part. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Taketh away the word, and then it says, taketh away the word out of their hearts, lest they should be lest they should believe and be saved. Okay, so this doesn't necessarily mean that the wayside people can't consume can't consume the seeds. It's just saying that their heart is not their heart and their belief system is not with Jesus. Okay? But if they was to believe, and if they was to be saved, then they could consume this. But being as though that they're not in that state of mind, their heart is not in that place, the devil is already he's hurrying up and snatching it before they get a chance to take in the word and have that chance to believe. So we can't automatically just shun these people aside, the wayside people, be like, oh, they not gonna never understand and stuff. It doesn't mean that. Some people uh like me, and I'm gonna say this. I was a wayside person at one time. My heart wasn't with God. So when people would say certain things about the book and stuff like that, it would go in one ear and out the other, and I didn't take to it because the devil was coming to snatch that before I got a chance to take to it, because he didn't want me to be saved. He don't want us to be saved. He doesn't want us to believe in his enemy being Jesus. So it doesn't mean that we can't be saved. It doesn't mean that we can't believe. It just means that we're not in that place right now to be saved, to believe. Okay? So let's keep going, because I don't want to get stuck on just the one particular thing. All right, so 13. But the ones on the rock are those who, when they hear, receive the word with joy, and these have no roots, who believe for a while, and in time of temptation fall away. Okay? So, so I spoke on this part too. I spoke on this part too. So now that we have our second place, our second place being stony or rocks. Our second place, man. Hold on, this pen gonna drive me crazy. I apologize. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to write stuff, and this pen is driving me crazy. All right. I had to go get a better pen. I apologize. I apologize, bro. This pen, I'm trying to write this. I keep having to scribble on the paper to get the pen to work. I ain't got time for that. They ain't slowing me down. All right. So our second place being Stony. Okay. So with the Stony place. Now, Stony place maybe Stony place is the people who maybe they have been saved. Okay, maybe they have been saved. Maybe they have believed, but it's a time frame to their belief. Okay, they hear the word. They hear the word. Somebody comes. They deliver the word to them, or they go to church and they deliver the word to them. They take to the word. They find that the word, this is speaking to me. This is you know what, this helped me for the day. That when I heard it, I felt good because I heard the word, and what he was saying was talking to me, and and it helped change my mood at that time. Okay, so look what it says. Look what it says. But but the ones on the rock are those who, when they hear receive when they hear receive the word with joy. Okay, so the people heard it. The people heard it. They listened to it. It moved them. But then look, and these have no root. So the no root part, I was explaining to that. It took, but they didn't further their education. They didn't keep down that same path. They didn't use the word for what it was being told to them. They didn't use the word on the outside. They might have heard it in church. They might have had somebody speak to them, but they not using the word for how they speaking to it because they have no root. They're not grounded. They only on surface level. Okay? And then look, who believe for a while. Okay? While being a time frame. While being a time frame. It could be a week, could be 2 weeks, could be a month. But then look, for a while, and in the temptation fall away. Okay? The temptation. The temptation the temptation could be something in the real world got to them, or um no, well, I'm gonna leave it right there. Something in the real world got to them. So what happens is, when the real world starts knocking, when life starts lifing, they fall back into their old ways. They fall away from what the gospel has told them, what the preacher has preached that week, or prior to them going to church. You know, when life starts life, and then they fall back into their old ways. And this is what it means, what it's meaning by in the time of temptation fall away. Okay, so it's not that they don't believe. It's just that their belief is not 100% there. So when time starts, like I said, when life starts lifing, and maybe a trial pops up that's test their faith, or test their belief system, and instead of having that root to stand on, and having those roots in the soil to hold and withstand that storm, they get scorched up by the sun. They wither away. They wither away from the church. They wither away from the word. They wither away from God, and they fall back into their old times. Okay, so that's the second. That's the second place. That's the second place. And what we're doing is we're identifying the characteristics of the people's hearts. Okay. Um. The third place. The third place. The third place is among thorns. Okay. When we read this, now the ones that fell among thorns are those who, when they have heard, go out and are choked with cares, riches, and pleasures of life, and bring no fruit to maturity. Okay? So, this one, this this particular passage and the stony this particular passage and the stony passage, I I refer to this as going hand in hand. Okay? Although although it's not it's not um the same thing. They're not the same type of heart. They don't have the same uh type of heart condition, but it relates to one another. It segues. That's what I refer to. It's a segue from one another. So it's a totally different kind of heart condition. Okay, so this heart condition right here, and I just thought about it. This heart condition speaks of covetousness. Okay, this I wish I would have thought about this on Tuesday, but this kind of heart condition speaks about covetousness. Okay, it says that, but the ones that, no, my fault. I'm in the wrong. There you go. Now the ones that fell among thorns are those who, when have heard, go out and are choked with the cares, riches, and pleasures of life. Okay, so it's speaking of. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My fault. Yeah, I did it. Man, look, I crashed and took a nap, and when I woke up, I was like, "Oh crap! I gotta set the live up." I got home, ate good, crashed out, and it caught the itis. So now I'm running a little behind. But what's going on is we're doing a part 2 to the parable that I talked about uh with the sower and the seed. I didn't give I did All right, so when I gave the sower and the seed parable, I spoke I spoke of the parable. I gave you an explanation of the parable, but the problem is that I didn't break down the parable, and it's kind of my fault. And well, it is my fault. I apologize for that. That I didn't break down the parable how I should have. I should have gave y'all. I should have broke down the characters in the parable and what the importance of the characters in the parable. I just gave you an explanation. So basically, I gave you I gave you the questions, and I gave you the answer, but I didn't show my work. If that makes sense. I didn't show the work. So now I'm going back to show you how I got the answers to this. And thank you for Bible study on Tuesday, because Bible study on Tuesday helped me realize, like, hey, you gave the answers, but you didn't show your work. And now I'm going back and I'm showing my work. So this is part 2. Okay. So right now we're on the third place. And when we read these places, remember I said it was 3 people. It was 3 people Jesus was referring to, but it's not 3 people, it's 4 people. Um and the people are the places that the seeds are being sowed on. And the places that that the seeds are being sowed on is referring to the people and the people's heart condition, the people's heart in this world, and where their heart is at. Um um so go out and are choked with cares, riches, and pleasures of life. Okay? So this particular person deals with covetousness. They care about the riches, they care about the pleasures of life. They care more about worldly possessions. Worldly possessions. They care about monetary values and stuff like that more than they care about the word of God. More than they care about believing in the word of God and bring no fruit to maturity. So this is the person that values materialistic things more than they value Jesus, more they value the word, and it holds them stagnant in that place, so whereas though they don't grow out of it. They don't mature. They don't mature out of that situation. We see this in a lot of entertainers, in a lot of like modern rappers and stuff like that, that they get everything that the world has to offer, and then they're stuck in that position. So now when the world doesn't offer them no more, they don't know. They not mature enough to see, like, hey, the world has more to um life has more to offer than what the world is giving me. Life has Jesus has abundance of gifts, but my maturity level only can see what materialistic things has to offer. I can't see past these material items. So when it refers to they heard it, yes, they heard the word, you know, but at the end of the day, I gotta get my bag. I gotta have the biggest Benz. I gotta have the most money. I gotta have all this stuff that the world has to offer before I can solely give myself to the Lord. So they not bringing no fruit to maturity. Okay, so this heart condition among thorns, it kind of goes hand in hand with the stony. but it is two different. It is two different heart conditions. Both are have a condition with the world. Both of them have a condition with the world. But I would, if I would say, 14 would probably be worse. The vines choking them would probably be worse in my eyes. Um, 15, 15, 15. There we go. All right. But the ones that fell on good ground are those having heard the word with noble and good heart. Okay? So now we got good grounds. Now we got the good grounds. Now we come to our first our fourth heart condition. Our fourth heart condition is good grounds. So good grounds are the people that show up Sunday, the people that take the word, and the people that use the word for what the word is. Um, Help minister to other people. Uh, work to please the Lord. Work in the Lord's will. These are the type of people that the seed falls, and they will be referred to as good ground because the roots of them seeds is taken in to the heart of that person. Um, and it tells you that because after it says noble and good heart, it says keep it. It says keep it and bear fruit with patience. Okay, so reason why the reason why I was saying the reason why I was saying 14 would be worse than 13. 14 would be worse than 13 is because uh 14 he refers to bring no fruit. Okay, bring no fruit. So this person don't even have a chance to bear fruit. They didn't say that with 13. What they did say is that who believe for a while. Okay, even though they might believe for a while, at least they have some type of belief system. At least they can believe. 14, they didn't say nothing about believing. It says their belief system is solely in worldly possessions. So that's why I refer to that one being a little bit worse than the stony place. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Both of them are a bad place to be in life, but you know that was just my opinion. Um, so now we understand that it's four places. The four places The four places are wayside, stony, among thorns, and good grounds. And this is the heart condition of the people. This is where people's hearts are at right now. Okay, so now we understand the sower being Jesus. So when it says the sower went out to sow, the sower is being Jesus, or us, that the ones that deliver the word. The seed The seed is the gospel. The seed is what we're reading out this book, or the word that we're delivering to the people. That is the seed. Okay, the gospel, the gospel, the word of God. Okay. Then in this parable you have four places where the seed has been sown. The seed has been sown and fell by the wayside. The wayside are a type of people that hear the word but just don't consume it. It goes in one ear and out the other. Stony places, stony place are the people that hear the word, believe in the word, but then when they fall on hard times, or when life start life and they forget about the word goes out the window. Okay. Among thorns. Among thorns are people that heard the word but are more invested in worldly possessions, riches, pleasures of life, um the riches, pleasure of life, and the cares of the world. They don't care. They don't care to use the word for what it is, because their belief system is in the world. Um, and then good grounds. Good grounds are the people that hear the word, consume the word, use the word, and live in the word of God. And they the ones that will bear fruit in the end. The birds. So when they say the seeds fell by the wayside and the birds trampled and devoured the seeds before they had time to set in, the seeds the birds that devoured the seeds are the devil. The devil comes to take that word from this person so that he doesn't even have time to use this word, or he has time to believe in this word. He hurries up and takes it from him. Not saying that the person not saying that the person can't receive the word, or believe in God. It's just that he's taking it from them. And when you look at verse 12, it says those by the wayside are the ones who hear the word, then the devil comes and takes away the word out of their hearts. And then it goes on to say, lest they should be saved, lest they should believe and be saved. So it's not saying that these people can't receive it. It just means that he's hurrying up and taking it, and it's gonna keep happening until they believe and get saved. Okay, so that's yeah, that's it. That's it. Now that we understand the characters in the parable, and now that we broke down the definitions of the parable, and we identified, excuse me, we identified the people, the positions of the heart of the people, and what it actually means. We're gonna be we're gonna be moving on now. So like I said, I apologize. I should have broke this down from the beginning, but I didn't. Um, it is important to understand these parables. Is definitely understand important to understand the parables, because he's telling us something. He's telling us something of importance, and it's on the sower to actually sow the seeds, and give them out, and sow them properly. I don't want to sow the seed and not take. I want to sow the seed, and I want it to take. I want it to land on good ground. So I take blame in that for not breaking it down. But I'm still learning, and as I'm learning, I'm sharing. So I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better with that. I'm gonna get better with breaking this down to the what my brother B say, the lowest common denominator. I'm I'm gonna break it down to the lowest common denominator. So that means, you know, piece by piece. That's just what it is. You know, I gotta show my work. I gotta show my work. I gotta get better at showing my work and not just giving you um my take on it. And that's what I did with the last live on this parable. I just gave you my take on it. And I didn't understand, and then all the way understand, or all the way get the explanation of the sower and what it was doing. All I knew all I knew when I read it was that it was speaking about the people and the condition of the people. But I didn't break down exactly what the birds was. What the wayside, the stony, the among thorns, the good grounds. I didn't break down that how I was supposed to. I didn't give y'all I didn't give y'all the definition of the seed being the word of God, the gospel. And I didn't break down the sower, which the sower is Jesus, or people like me, Bolo, Mo Love, Scorched, Brother Vaughn, even my brother B, you know, the sower, the ones that plant the seeds. So I didn't give y'all these explanations, and I should have. I should have. Um, that's my fault. But I hope y'all get something from this. I hope y'all took notes on this. Go back and listen to this. Write your notes down, and I'll catch y'all on the next live. Um, I don't know what the next live is gonna be. I don't know what the next live is. I ain't even gonna cap. I don't even know what the next live is gonna be. But I'm not gonna stop pushing the word, so it's gonna be about the word. So I'll catch y'all on the next live. Thanks for Lady Navoa. Thank you, Lady Navoa, for stopping in. Much appreciated. My mama gonna cuss me out because I didn't tell her that I was going